This week on The Splash, a local church provides a different kind of healing. Then we witness public safety in action. And later, a tradition in good health. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, all so that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash. Welcome to The Splash. I'm Tyler Kieft, and as always, thank you for joining us. Holy Spirit Lutheran Church hosted health and wellness sessions recently, providing an in-depth look into the health of a very important local demographic. Reporter Lawrence Nyland has the story.
The Center for Disease Control and Prevention reports that over 100 million Americans are living with diabetes or prediabetes. That's almost 1 in every 3 people. The majority of the cases are those who suffer from type 2 diabetes, also known as adult-onset diabetes.
Type 2 diabetes is the one in which the pancreas produces the insulin, but for one reason or the other, the insulin is not working well, or that the pancreas does not produce enough insulin. If you don't have enough insulin, then the blood sugar is hanging around. And then when it hangs around, it has to find a place to go. It goes to the eyes, goes to the heart, goes to the kidney, and it goes to the feet. And everywhere it goes, it's like a poison, and it causes damages.
While diabetes cannot technically be cured, its debilitating effects can be greatly reduced with medications and changes in dietary habits.
If you watch what you eat, we advise them to stay away from carbohydrates. Because when you eat carbohydrates, when it's broken down in the body, it's broken down into glucose. The less carbohydrate you pump in, the less your chance of a high level of glucose. We advise more protein, eggs, and beans, those foods that are good in protein, and we advise for them to take fruits, apples, oranges, berries. That kind of food, they have glucose, but it's a glucose that can be digested by the body. They don't hang around.
Dr. Oshieri was one of the featured speakers at the Community Health Fair held at Holy Spirit Lutheran Church in West Bloomfield. For congregation member Norm Werner, that speech hit close to home.
Dr. O talked about diabetes. I happen to be a type 2 diabetic myself, and it's one of those things like he mentioned where you can control it with pills. I get a couple pills that essentially reduce my body's ability to absorb or keep blood sugars flowing around in it. So I'm not on insulin or anything like that yet, and hopefully never will be, but through a combination of a few drugs, some exercise and diet, I was actually able to get off of one of my diabetic drugs just due to exercise and diet. And of course I poke my finger and take my blood sugar level every now and then. I get my A1C checked by my doctor every 6 months or so, and if it goes out of whack, he scolds me and puts me on a drug again until I get it back down under control. So,
A1C is a blood test for type 2 diabetes and prediabetes that measures your blood sugar level over the past 3 months and is 1/3 of the ABCs of diabetes that all affected should follow.
A1C, blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. Those are the ABCs of diabetes. And if you smoke, we advise you to slow down and eventually cut off cigarette smoking.
Reporting for The Splash, this is Lawrence Nyland.
For more information, you can visit civiccentertv.com/Holy Spirit Health. A matter of seconds is what separates tragedy from safety. For local public safety officials, those precious seconds entail an extensive amount of training. And I got an exclusive look into what our police and fire department is doing to ensure quick and safe care to the public. While West Bloomfield Deputy Police Chief Kurt Lawson and Assistant Fire Chief Mark Lowry hope that their department's officers and resources are never utilized in an active shooter situation, it is a reality that all public safety officials must be prepared for in today's society. With neighboring departments within the Oakway Mutual Aid Partnership, West Bloomfield hosted a training session for police and fire departments to work through a simulated active shooter scenario at the Corners on Walnut Lake Road, preparing for a unified effort to stop tragedy as safely and effectively as possible.
There isn't a single department out there that can handle this on their own. There aren't enough officers on duty. There aren't enough EMS people on duty. So when an event like this happens, it's a unified command where PD and the FD work together because the police department would provide security and the rescue personnel would come from the fire department for the medical side. All of our rescue task force teams are trained the same way. So if a group of my guys are going in with a group of Bloomfield Township people, they understand their role and they'll do the same role. We can combine with any police for security and any of the Oakway fire personnel for the medical side. We all respond the same way. Practice is what makes it better, though, and that's what we're doing here today.
Being prepared and well-trained for these scenarios helps the Oakway departments ready themselves to cover their primary objectives of rapid response and effective care, neutralizing a hostile situation in a swift and safe manner.
Our role is to stop the threat as quickly as possible. And that means our first responding officers are going to go right to the threat and they're going to deal with that threat. The other officers that come in behind are going to secure the area. We're going to team up with the fire department and we're going to rescue as many people as we can as safely as we can.
We find in situations like this that bleeding out is what causes the most deaths. So we need to get to the patient, stop the bleeding, stop the hemorrhaging, fix the trauma, get them out of the building where they're safe, and then get them transported to a definitive care or a hospital.
Ultimately, both inside the hostile situation and in the public, maintaining control of the situation is paramount, and something that public safety officials in our community and in the Oakway Mutual Aid Partnership strive to make one of their focal points in these scenarios.
So on scene here, our objective is to stabilize the scene as quickly as possible. Once we've stabilized the scene, we have to remember that this is also a crime scene, so we have to preserve evidence. We want the area around the incident to remain blocked off. And like I said, we want to kind of control the situation. We want to block off roads. We want to, any victim that leaves the school here needs to be brought to a separate location to be interviewed. So there's a lot of things that have to take place, and we want to do it in a very orderly fashion, at least as orderly as you can in such a stressful situation.
Hopefully, active shooter scenarios in the Oakway and neighboring communities will continue to be limited to these kinds of simulations. But our local public safety officials have committed to ensure that if a tragic event like this ever strikes our community, that it will be resolved quickly and safely. You can find more information on our website at civiccentertv.com/active shooter training. Coming up, we go to the Chamber of Commerce for a healthy tradition, and then we send Patrick McElmurray back on the town for another episode of Sidewalk Talk.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV. And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Tyler Kieft. Our local community organizations do a lot to better the lives of people in our community, and the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce holds an annual wellness fair dedicated to keeping our community healthy. We sent reporter Charles Maurer to West Bloomfield Town Hall for the festivities.
West Bloomfield held the 10th annual Health and Wellness event here at City Hall. This 3-hour event dove into the necessities of what to expect with an aging population. Let's figure out how we can better prepare ourselves and our loved ones for when we get older.
Great question. And most of you probably see senior communities popping up on every corner. And that's the reason. The baby boomers are aging, and they're getting to the age now where they're requiring more care and starting to think about options. So I would say as a country we're getting there, but statistically, in the next 19 years, 10,000 people a day will go into senior living because of the bulk of the population being the baby boomers.
A lot of people these days just, sometimes they start out, they need help with their transportation, they can't drive anymore, someone to help them prepare their meals, and a lot of their personal needs. They want to be in their own home, so we can help them with their, showers and daily routines.
As the event carried on, there were free health screenings and healthy recipe samples to eat. People were able to ask a variety of businesses on what kind of help they can receive.
Okay, Care Patrol, we assist families in finding the right, safe senior living for them, whether they're downsizing from a large home into an independent social senior community, or they're looking for more help in assisted living or memory care if they have dementia or Alzheimer's, or even the smaller 6-person high nursing care group homes. We can help with all of that.
We go into a lot of people's homes, but we also care for people at nursing homes, assisted livings. Sometimes they need us in the hospital just to do one-on-one care. The family will want someone to be with them around the clock, and we can do that as well.
Yes, and this generation's a very proud generation. People in their 80s and 90s are coming from the Depression era, the World War II area, where, they're very proud and they don't like to ask for help. So I would say it's 50-50 with the seniors themselves and the adult children. So the adult children are typically making a lot of those decisions now, especially with loved ones that have any kind of memory care issues, or if they happen to be in the hospital and they needed their parent to move from the hospital into senior living where the parent can't necessarily make that choice themselves, then the adult children will make that choice for them.
This evening was full of helpful advice and guidance. It's truly special to see this community of West Bloomfield care for our future and our elders. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Charles Maurer.
To learn more about the story, visit our website at civiccentertv.com/healthfair2019. Now it's time for Sidewalk Talk, where reporter Patrick McElmurray asks the people of Greater West Bloomfield about some of their favorite tunes.
My go-to song to sing when I'm by myself is Journey's Don't Stop Believin', even though there's no South Detroit. What's your go-to song to sing when you're by yourself?
I like Tennessee Whiskey by Chris.
Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah, that one.
It's a good song.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'd probably say some John Denver. I'd sing to some John Denver, some old country.
You wouldn't know it, but I like the Polish folk music and traditional or some classical music. You Raise Me Up. I like Josh Groban singing it, but I am folk and classic.
The 80s, anything from the 80s I'm good with.
I like it.
My go-to song, I like anything Prince. I'm aging myself, but anything Prince, R&B, hip-hop.
Purple Rain, Purple Rain.
Sure, the kids were just playing it this morning for me.
I love it. If you're home alone or driving and start singing, what's your go-to song?
Oh, I never sing.
Not a singer?
No, not at all.
I really like Queen. Preferably, if I had to pick, probably I love me some Fat Bottom Girls.
We Are the Champions?
Yeah, that one's a little overplayed, but I like I Want to Break Free. I was just singing that over there.
I can dig it.
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
An oldie but a goodie.
Yeah. But usually I don't get too far before I stop at the bar.
And then you started counting the other way.
Yeah, there you go.
I like it.
I like rap music, so yeah. I like.
Which one do you
rap.
sing?
I listen to Sir Mix a lot. Old rap. Oh, he's good because he always talks about not hitting a woman. He incorporates it in all of his songs. He's quite the man.
It's funny you said Sir Mix-a-Lot because my go-to karaoke song was always Baby Got Back.
They've got back, yeah?
Want to sing it with me?
No.
All right. For Civic Center TV in West Bloomfield, I'm Patrick McElmurray, and this was Sidewalk Talk.
For more episodes of Sidewalk Talk on demand, visit civiccentertv.com/sidewalktalk. Now it's time for our Civic Center TV event update, where we provide you with upcoming events from around Greater West Bloomfield. And for more events coming up, visit our website at civiccentertv.com/events. Let's get started. West Bloomfield Parks is hosting ITC Walks. This walking program is free and here to provide a valuable and healthy activity for the community. The walks range from 1.5 to 3.5 miles in distance, and after each walk, West Bloomfield Parks will be holding drawings for a variety of prizes and will also put your name into a grand prize drawing, which will give the winner a 4-day stay at the Mackinac Island Grand Hotel. The ITC Walks occur every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. For more information, visit wbparks.org. Dispose of prescription drugs with Operation Medicine Cabinet, happening year-round in West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, and Orchard Lake at all 3 of the police departments. Disposing of drugs is completely anonymous and open 24/7 in West Bloomfield Township, Tuesdays and Thursdays 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Keego Harbor, and Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Orchard Lake City Hall. For more information, visit oakgov.com/sheriff or call your local police. Put your engineering skills to the test next Monday at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library by attempting to send an egg to the moon. Create a safety vessel for an egg and simulate the Apollo 11 moon landing. There are 2 sessions, one at 11 a.m. and the other at 12 noon. Registration is required and this event is free to attend. For more information, visit wblib.org. Then later on that week, stop by the library to discuss The Dude. The Public Library is holding a film discussion on The Big Lebowski on July 8th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Discuss and explore the influential film and how its cult following affected pop culture and the film industry. There is no registration required, and for more information, visit wblib.org. Come to Henry's Market on Main. The market hosts a variety of fresh, locally grown produce, as well as baked goods, herbs, salsa, pesto, and many other delicious products, including free samples. Learn from expert chefs on how to prepare the meal with ingredients grown from Henry Ford's very own greenhouse. The market is open Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and is free and open to the public. For more information, go to henryford.com. And that's this week's highlights. You can find more events online at civiccentertv.com/events and see everything that is happening around Greater West Bloomfield. Coming up, I'll be speaking with Amy Strauss, Director of Public and Community Relations at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Civic Center TV is your home for everything Greater West Bloomfield. Here you can tune into community programming such as our weekly news magazine show, The Splash, as well as coverage of local events and meetings in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield. You can also watch all of your local programming online anytime at civiccentertv.com. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Tyler Kieft, and we're joined today by Amy Strauss, Director of Public and Community Relations at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. Amy, thank you for joining us
Thanks,
today.
Tyler. Glad to be here.
There's always a lot going on at the hospital, and there's a lot going on this summer. Go into a little bit about some of the new, fun, and interesting programs at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital.
Well, once again this summer we have kids classes, cooking classes in the demonstration kitchen, which is something we've had every year. However, this summer, we are adding teen classes, which is new for us, and we're really excited about that. Our kids classes are really designed to help teach kids about the importance of making healthy meal choices and healthy decisions, and helping them learn how to cook for themselves and their families. So this year we have 2 classes for kids ages 6 to 12. That's on July 20th and August 3rd. And then we have 2 teen classes. One is Teen Cooking 101 on July 23rd and Simple Meals from Sunrise to Sunset on August 8th. So we've got a variety happening this summer, and we're really excited about that. We hope to get a lot of kids into the kitchen to teach them how to, again, make healthy decisions in terms of their meals and their choices of food.
Yeah, it's a really unique experience, these cooking classes at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital, because it's easy to be in the kitchen with a chef and just have them show you, okay, here's when you put this ingredient in, here's how much of this, and give you a recipe. But at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital, it's kind of like an interactive cooking show. Like you're
really
watching
is.
TV and you're seeing overhead shots of these great meals being put together, but you're also there.
Right.
And you're also interacting with these chefs, and they're answering your questions. How important is interactivity in setting these cooking classes apart from just something you get in a general cooking class?
Well, I think it's really important, especially for the kids. The kids' classes we limit to 25 kids per class because we want them to have that interactive experience with our chefs walking around, showing them how to do certain techniques, them being able to ask questions, and then taking that back to their homes, their families, so that they can replicate it when they go home. And then in our adult classes, which we have several of this summer as well, the gap back and forth between the chefs and the participants is really key because that's when people have the opportunity to ask questions. We usually have a dietitian in the classes with us so they can answer any nutrition questions. A lot of people have sensitivities to gluten or dairy and they want to know how they can maybe modify a recipe. Well, our chef and our dietitian are there to answer those questions and then just really impart some really good cooking tips with each class. And that's something that I don't think you would get in a regular cooking class.
Yeah, it's more of an interactive learning experience for the attendee to kind of help them reset their habits and learn new healthy habits that they can incorporate into their daily diet and their daily lifestyle to create a new, healthier path in their lifestyle in general. On top of that, the hospital also has some other reinforcements on site. Talk a little bit about the Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital Farmers Market and how that helps this path to a new lifestyle.
Well, I think obviously, and I hope a lot of people watching know that we were built on a foundation of health and wellness. And that's kind of what we try to impart in everything that we do at the hospital, whether it be a cooking class or our Parkinson's and movement disorder classes that we offer for free, our yoga classes, and then you were mentioning our farmers market, which is Henry's Market on Main, happens every Wednesday during the growing season, which is now until mid-November, actually.
Oh, wow.
It's from 9 to 5 every day. We have our local produce that's coming in from Michigan farmers, and we have honey and flowers and breads, and we do samplings, and so it's a really fun interactive environment. We have our resident farmer Trevor who's there answering questions, as well as volunteers manning the entire farmers market for us. So it becomes a very fun atmosphere right there inside the hospital on Main Street. So I really encourage people to take advantage of getting that fresh local produce right here in the community.
And that's free and open to the public?
Well, it's free to come to, but everything does have a cost to it. But I will tell you this. After we pay our bills for our produce, all the money then after that goes to the Blessings in a Backpack program, which is in Kego Harbor and West Bloomfield, and we provide fresh produce for that Blessings in a Backpack program through the school year.
That's fantastic. You touched on, just to kind of shift gears, you touched on exercise classes. Now you have those for just a general public, but you said specifically you have classes for people with movement disorders.
Right.
Give us a little bit of an overview of those special classes and what they bring to the greater West Bloomfield community.
Well, we do offer 2 classes every week free. One is our PRW Moves class, and one is our Moving Through Dance class with Parkinson's. So these classes are designed for people who have Parkinson's disease or any other movement disorders. They're run by special trained teachers who understand the needs and the limitations of people with movement disorders and Parkinson's. They're all research-based. They're on Thursdays from 11:30 to 12:30 and then 12:30 to 1:30. And a lot of the people who come go to both classes. They really enjoy both. Maybe they're seated in one class and then they're up moving around in another. So it really gives folks with these diseases a chance to get up and move and experience, exercise, which sometimes they can't do. We also offer a whole series of yoga classes at the hospital, anything from seated yoga all the way to intermediate yoga. And I really encourage everybody to go on our website, henryford.com/West Bloomfield, to take a look at all the classes that we're talking about today. Those are offered at a nominal fee, the yoga classes, and our cooking classes are also very affordable, $20 per person or 2 for $30. We want you to bring a friend. The kids classes are $25 per person, but again, it's a very interactive, hands-on experience.
Okay, and then lastly, Big anniversary for the
It is.
hospital. 10 years of Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital
Right.
in Greater West Bloomfield. What's coming up next?
Well, what's coming up is a big community-wide celebration on September 21st. We want to invite everyone in the community to come celebrate with us. This is our 10th year being a hospital this year. Our actual anniversary was in March, but we are celebrating all year long. So we're going to have a lot of fun on September 21st. A mini farmers market, games, prizes, dancing, all kinds of things. And it's hopefully going to be outside. So that's what we're hopeful for.
All right, well, thank you very much, Amy. We
Sure.
always enjoy talking to you, and we hope to have you back here very soon once again.
Thanks so much.
Once again, we've been joined by Amy Strauss, Director of Public and Community Relations at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. On this week's episode of Parenting on the Go, our very own Brooke Allen sat down with a local expert to discuss the role of school counselors.
Hi, welcome to Parenting on the Go. I'm Brooke Allen, and joining me today is Jennifer Burgick, counselor at Walnut Creek Middle School in the Walled Lake Consolidated School District. And thank you for being here today. So I guess the first question is, what does a school counselor do?
Professional school counselors today work a bit differently than the guidance counselors that parents may have had when they were in school. We use a comprehensive program that focuses on 3 different areas. We talk about career and college development, we talk about academic development, and probably most importantly, we work on social emotional development of children. And so we work with all the students in our schools to help them be well-rounded in all those areas.
Okay, so how do school counselors help students achieve all of that?
We approach it in kind of a 3-pronged facet with those 3 different areas. We do a lot of proactive work by going into classrooms and teaching skills. For example, we may go in and teach a whole class lesson on a specific study skill that would be helpful to our students. We do, again, career awareness lessons and things like that. In the social emotional realm, we may be teaching students skills on stress reduction and different things like that. For students who have a little bit greater need, we may cluster them together in small groups that we meet with at least once a week to help work on skills that would be of benefit to them. And then a lot of students we work with individually as needed for whatever barriers they may have to learning.
I know when I was in school, it was kind of different. You always thought, oh, the counselor's office is down the hall, and you
Right.
only went there if maybe you were called down to the counselor's
Right.
office. But
Right.
you actually see the students on a regular basis.
Right. Well, we try very hard to see all of our students individually, at least several times a year. It just depends on their needs and how often we can have access to them.
So how are school counselors different than social workers or even psychologists?
In the school setting, we have very defined roles. So a school counselor has access to all the students. All the students in the school are assigned to a counselor, and we may get to know a student over several years if they're on our caseload for several years. Whereas social workers and psychologists typically work with students with a defined need, usually through special education. But we all do work together as a team to help meet whatever the needs of the child might be.
So how long have you been a counselor?
This is my 23rd year.
Really?
Yes.
So how come you decided to be a counselor?
I started out as a teacher, as a music teacher actually, and I was in a real inner city district and saw that the social emotional needs of my kids were really strong, and so I just felt that was more where I could be of use to students.
So what should parents know about helping their students?
The most important thing I want them to know is that if you have any concerns at all, the first thing you can do is call your child's counselor. And also I like parents to encourage their kids to get to know their school counselor. So seek out the counselor, even if it's just a friendly hello or get to know them in the hallway kind of conversations, because that way when needs do arise, the counselor is much more able to meet those needs and work with the parents and teachers to do whatever's best for that child.
So are there any additional resources out there that even students can know about or even parents?
As far as counseling resources?
Yeah,
there's a very good website, the American School Counseling Association, and there are a lot of resources for parents on there on how to help your child and how to have a good relationship with your child's school counselor.
How often do you hear from parents?
Oh, frequently, through email, phone calls, and we really do work hard to create good relationships with our families so that when there is a need that arises, they feel very comfortable calling us.
And how about the student? Do you are students embarrassed to reach out to you, do you think, or?
No, because we've made it part of our school culture that it's just normal to get to know your school counselor, and we're in the classrooms doing things with the kids, so they see us kind of in just a more natural way. We're just a part of their everyday life at school.
So that stigma of going to the counselor's office is kind of gone.
Right. We make it a good thing to, it's good to seek out help when you need it, and we really encourage that in our school.
So that's a good point, to seek out help when you need it. How do parents really drill that into a kid's head?
I think it's through conversation. We start it early when they, I work in a middle school setting, so as they enter into middle school, we make sure that we're establishing that relationship with the kids and with the parents, that they know who we are, they know we're a resource for them, and we really do encourage them to call us at the first sign of any concern.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And thank you for watching this episode of Parenting on the Go. And if you would like to look up more helpful parenting tips, you can visit the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance website at wbyouthassistance.org.
For more episodes of Parenting on the Go, visit civiccentertv.com/parenting2go. Now it's time for our final segment on the show called Person of the Week, where we celebrate the people in the community who are inspiring and providing toward others. This week's recipient is Kelly Heyer, Recreation Superintendent at West Bloomfield Parks and the Vice Chairperson of West Bloomfield Youth Assistance. Kelly Heyer has been a dedicated member of the West Bloomfield community for many years. You can find her at almost every community event, spending her time to improve and support the people of Greater West Bloomfield of all ages, backgrounds, and interests. Kelly has worked as the Recreation Superintendent at West Bloomfield Parks since 2015, working on projects with staff and connecting with the residents of West Bloomfield, all in an effort to improve and build the Parks Department. She shares her time at Parks with West Bloomfield Youth Assistance, working as the vice chairperson for the organization. Working at this nonprofit helps children and their families with beneficial counseling services, which leads to happy lives, something Kelly takes great joy in facilitating. The next time you see Kelly, give her a big thank you for her willingness to dedicate her time to make the lives and surroundings of West Bloomfield residents that much better. That is what makes Kelly so special to the community and makes her our Person of the Week. And if you know someone who is making a positive difference in our community, let us know and send an email to thesplash@civiccentertv.com. We want to congratulate and acknowledge those who are making a difference in our community, and we appreciate all of your suggestions. That's going to do it for this week's show. You can watch new episodes of The Splash every Monday at 5:30 p.m. on Civic Center TV, on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99, as well as on the web in HD at civiccentertv.com. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Civic Center TV. And as always, you can get all of your local news on the road anytime on 89.3 WBLD, the all-new Lakes FM. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Tyler Kieft. Thank you for watching The Splash.